system is scaling. You're just not part of the part that benefits, at least not automatically. And that's where most people get it wrong. Because from the outside, everything looks like growth. Companies grow, teams expand, systems become more complex, opportunities increase, so it feels like everyone inside that system should grow with it. But that's not how it works, because the system doesn't scale evenly, it concentrates. Growth at the system level does not translate into growth at the individual level. And most engineers don't see that difference. They assume being part of a growing system means they are growing too. But participation is not the same as progression. You can be part of growth without benefiting from it. You can contribute to scale without your income scaling with it. And that's where most people stay. And if your income feels slower than the system around you, you're probably already there. This is where the misunderstanding starts. As systems scale, they don't expand all roles equally. They compress most roles. Because scaling requires efficiency, and efficiency reduces how much each individual matters, even as the system becomes more valuable, and expand a few. Because the system doesn't need everyone to grow. It needs most roles to stabilize, and a small number of roles to scale. This is what creates inequality inside the system. Not skill, not effort, structure. Most roles absorb growth. They support it. They maintain it. They keep systems running as complexity increases. Important work, critical work, but work that gets distributed across more people, across more teams, across more layers, which means individual leverage decreases, even if your workload increases, even if your responsibility grows. Because more responsibility does not always mean more influence, which means you can be doing more work than ever and still not move financially. That's where most people get confused. Even as the system grows, even as the company scales, even as the stakes increase, because more people share the same responsibility. And when responsibility is shared, value per person decreases. At the same time, a different set of roles expands. Roles that define systems, roles that control decisions, roles that influence outcomes. These roles don't get distributed, they get concentrated. Fewer people, more impact, more control. These roles don't grow with the system, they grow ahead of it. So the gap is not just growth, it's separation between those who capture value and those who support it. This is why growth feels uneven, because it is. The system is not designed to scale everyone equally. It's designed to filter, to concentrate leverage, and to limit access. Not everyone moves up. Most people stay where they are, not because they choose to, but because the system is not designed to move everyone up. There is also a visibility problem. From inside the system, you only see your path. You see your work, your responsibilities, your improvements, but you don't see how value is assigned above you, so you assume the same rules apply. But they don't, because the rules change as the system grows. What creates value at one level does not create value at another, and most engineers don't adjust, because what worked at a lower level becomes the limitation at a higher one, and most people don't see when that shift happens. There is also a timing layer. The earlier you move into expanding roles, the more you benefit from system growth. The longer you stay in stabilizing roles, the less that growth affects you, which means timing compounds, not just effort. There is also a filtering mechanism. As the system scales, it becomes more selective. Not everyone gets access to higher layers. Not everyone gets visibility. Not everyone gets opportunities. And without access, growth stops, even if the system keeps expanding, even if new opportunities appear. Because access is what determines who benefits from growth. And most people never get that access, even if they're capable of handling it. This is why many engineers feel stuck inside fast-growing companies. Everything around them is scaling, but their income isn't, because they are inside roles that absorb growth, not roles that benefit from it. They support expansion, but they don't participate in its upside. And that difference defines long-term income. This difference compounds over time, hundreds of thousands across a career, lost without realizing it. Because from the outside, everything still looks like progress. So the question is not, is the system growing? The real question is, are you in the part of the system that actually gets paid when it does? Most people aren't, and they don't realize it until years have already passed, because everything around them is expanding, except their income. If you understand how the system actually works, you don't just improve, you move into the part that benefits, before the gap becomes permanent. If you want the full system behind this, it's in the description.